Here's your market update for Prince Edward County. So let's have a look at what the current numbers are. This week in Prince Edward County, we had 34 new listings come on. We had 10 go conditional, 9 go pending, we had 24 that were closed, and interestingly, we had 5 that had a price decrease and 10 that were canceled altogether. We also had 18 that were expired, but that's fairly normal at the end of the month for a bunch of expireds, and then, they'll carry on or come back on at the beginning of the month, so that's not such a surprise. But the price decrease and the canceled indicates to me that people are starting to list their houses way above where they should be, and then they're not getting the number that they think they're going to get, and so they're either going to have to drop the price or they're just giving up on it for a bit and going to kind of wait and see what happens. So I think because so many listings have gone way above what the asking price was, that people are having these really big expectations of what their houses are worth. And I want you to keep in mind, here's what happens normally with a multiple offer situation. What we tend to see is, let's say there's 10 offers on a house. A couple of them are going to be very low. There'll be the bulk of them that are all a very similar price, and then 1, maybe 2 that are quite high. And usually what the seller's going to do is they're going to go with that really high one. But that does not indicate necessarily where the majority of people are at. So let's say your house, sells, or the neighbor's house, let's say you list it at 600, sells for 650. Now you're going to list your house at 650 thinking that you should get that plus more. But if there was only one person who thought that that house was worth 650 next door, and the vast majority of people were more at the 620 mark, that doesn't mean that your house is also worth 650, because now that one person is not in the running anymore. They've already bought something. So you may only get 620 or 630. You're not necessarily going to get the big number. So just keep that in mind. What we're experiencing right now is that because there's a few more houses coming on, which I'll get to in a minute, and interest rates are starting to go up, we're seeing a thinning of the number of multiple offers on a house. So we're still seeing multiple offers happening, but just not as many multiple offers on each house. So instead of 13 to 15 where we were at a while ago, I'm seeing right now more like 2 to 6. And in fact, I do have a client who just bought a house that she was the only offer, and it wasn't like a super high priced house. So great for her because she got it for a really good price. But it's an interesting thing if you're looking to sell to keep in mind that you need to be really smart with how you're pricing your house. Make sure that you've got an agent that really understands the market, what's happening in your area, so that they can help you out, and make sure that you're doing it well. Because the worst thing is if you way overprice it, it either sits around for a while, or you get lowball offers, or you have to decrease the price and then that looks bad. So you want to be really accurate and smart in your pricing right from the get-go, and that will get you the very best results. As a buyer, you also want to know what are you up against, what's happening, what's the reality of where you should be at with your offers. So again, make sure that your agent's really on the ball, has seen a lot of what's been going on with houses in that area, and can be really informative for you. So what's happening as far as total number of available houses in Prince Edward County? Currently, there are 84 residential listings that are available. From those, 3 are seasonal, so not really available. 12 are brand new, and we have 9 that have a condition accepted offer. So if you take that 84 minus the 24, that leaves us with 60 current residential listings. Last week we were at 54, again January we were at 27. So it's a good, healthy increase, nowhere close to where we'd like to be, but it's a really good sign. Typically in the spring, more houses do come on, so I'm really hoping we're not going to have then that dropping off that typically happens kind of after April, May, that this will be a trend that's going to continue, that we'll see more houses, that we're going to stabilize things and just make it easier for everybody. I personally hate this, fired up crazy market, because I find it difficult, and I just think that my clients aren't being best served when it's all such a mad rush. I would love to see things go back to a little bit more normal, where they're more comfortable for everyone, where you can do a home inspection, where you can have a financing condition, where you can take your time and feel comfortable. but we'll just have to wait and see what the market does. Because it's April, let's have a look back at March of this year compared to 2021. So what we see is that the average price sale in 2021, just in March, was $716,226. In 2022, it's $802,158. So that's an increase of about 12%. As we said before, we had a big increase kind of the last 2 years during COVID, and we were expecting that 2022 was going to be a little bit calmer, but still increasing, and that's absolutely what we're seeing. So the predictions so far were accurate. So we'll just have to wait and, kind of see where things go from now. In regards to supply, we're very similar. There were 1.3 months worth of supply in 2021 in March, and right now there's 1.4 months, so that's very similar. And what that means is that if no new listings came on and we just waited for all of those that are currently available to sell, that in 1.4 months there would be none left, that they would all be sold. So that's what that number, that's how we use that number. Next one is number of sales. This one I was surprised at, to be honest. So in 2021 in March, there were 80 sales, and in 2022, there were only 47. So that's almost like half drop, obviously. I was surprised about that one. I didn't expect that, but I would also say in Prince Edward County, so much depends on our months and how much snow we get, or what the weather's like, whether people are, coming down from other places. So, that varies a lot more, I think, in the winter months than necessarily the summer or fall months. One more stat I wanted to share with you is the percentage of original list price. How much are places selling compared to what their original list price was? It used to be 4 or 5 years ago that prices would sell for around 95% of what the list price was. With all the multiple offers that have been happening, we have seen prices in 2021 during March were selling for about 104% of that list price. And this past March, what we just saw was 107.8. So even a bigger gap than what we saw a year ago, which is also very interesting. It doesn't sound like a huge amount, but again, when you take $500,000 and you just have, a few percentages of it, then you're looking at, 30,000, 50,000, it becomes a much bigger number. And really $500,000 is a very low price for Prince Edward County. So as you saw from the average price, that now it's $802,000. So that's my information for you. If you have any questions, I would love to have a conversation with you. If you are a seller, you're thinking of selling, just keep in mind that the market is softening just a little bit. Be careful not to overprice, and you probably want to get in as soon as possible because summer tends to be very quiet in Prince Edward County as far as sales. Everybody's here to have a great time, enjoy the beach, go to the wineries, and fewer people are actually looking at houses. That's also something that surprises people. If you're looking to buy, then it's, again, good to know what is happening in your area, what's happening in the market. Prices are still rising. Interest rates are set to rise by, they're suggesting 0.75%, so 3/4 of a percentage point in April. So make sure you're locking in your 120 days of the current interest rate if your mortgage company allows you to do that. If you have any questions, again, contact me. I would love to chat with you anytime, and we'll be back next week.